Okay, so I'm going to create a living room scene, like a sofa, chair, ottoman for your isometric room. So we're going to start with a cube. So this time we're actually not deleting the cube. We're going to actually use it. And I'm going to just set you up here. So I am in scene here. I am using, under units, I'm using imperial. I think Blender's default is metric. And in length, I am using inches. So you'll need to set those to follow along. So I'm going to click on my cube. I'm going to go to item, and I'm going to set the dimensions. I've already kind of worked out the dimensions of a sofa. So on the x-axis, I want it to be 26. And on the y-axis, I want it to be 84. And I want it to be about 6 inches. So this is the base of the sofa we're working on. So we'll go ahead and apply the scale for that. Control A to apply the scale. We'll zoom in on this. So this is the base of the sofa. So now we're going to do a Shift D to duplicate this. And then we're going to do an R to rotate on the y-axis 90 degrees. Now, I use an add-on called Quick Snap. It allows you to connect objects in your scene. And there's a video I've done on where to get it for free and how to use it. It is an utterly magical add-on. I recommend everyone have it. So my shortcut for using Quick Snap is Shift Q. So I'm going to do a Shift Q. And right now it's highlighting the vertice that I want to snap from. And I just drag it and it just snaps to that one. It's just a fabulous thing. So that's the backrest. So now I'm going to do a Shift D. And I'm going to R to rotate this on the x-axis 90 degrees. This is going to be one of the arms. And I'm going to make it square at the moment. I'll probably adjust it. So another 26 there. And I'll do a Shift Q. Actually, I'm going to do a Shift Q to snap it here. And I'm just going to apply the scale. And I'm going to tab into edit mode on faces. Select this face. I'm going to do a Shift Q and just drag this up here. So I'm going to go back into object mode. So tab object. And I'm going to just Shift D to duplicate that arm and move it over here and snap it here. Okay, so here we got a sort of the frame of the sofa. So now I want to put an angle on this backrest because nobody sits at 90 degrees. They kind of sit at an angle. So we are going to get a front view of this. So front, no, I want a side view 3. Okay, so now we're going to tab into edit mode. And we're going to do a Command R. We're going to add a couple of edge loops here. So Command R and then click. And then I'm going to drag it right down to the seat, just about there. And I also want to put one on the top of this backrest. So Command R. And I want to drag it almost to the edge there. So now I'm going to select this edge. G to grab on the x-axis. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do G to grab. Oh, hold on. So G to grab and then Shift Q. I think that works. Maybe it doesn't. Actually, okay. Select the edge, then do a Shift Q, and then just drag it back there. So that's kind of the backrest angle. So now I am going to tab back into object mode, select this base, and I can do a Shift D to duplicate it. And I'm going to change the dimensions of each cushion to 28 inches. So 3 cushions at 28 equals the 84 of the base. So I'm going to go ahead and apply the scale. Control A, apply scale. Then a Shift Q, and I'm just going to drag it. Shift Q right there. And then I'm going to duplicate this. Of course, I need 2 more cushions. And I'm just going to do snap this in place. And snap this one in place. So that's my sofa, my 3 cushions. Now I need backrest cushions. So I'll select all 3 of these. And I'll do a Shift D. And I'm going to rotate these on the y-axis 90 degrees. And I'm going to go in X-ray mode up here. And I'm just going to snap this temporarily in place. So Shift Q, right there. Okay, so now we need to angle these cushions so they're up against that backrest. So we're going to do an R to rotate on the Y-axis. Nope. R to rotate on the Y-axis. And then I'm going to grab this G and move it along the X-axis. So I got to rotate that just a little bit more. So R, Y, Y. Okay, that looks pretty good. I like that. So I'm just going to move it back a little bit more. So G, X. Okay, I like that. So go out of X-ray mode. So this looks pretty good. So now I'm going to add a modifier to these cushions. So select a cushion, add a modifier, and we're going to do a bevel. And I might take that up to 3. I like that. So now I want to copy this modifier to these 3, the rest of these cushions. So I'll select all these cushions. And then select the cushion that has the modifier last. And go up to Object. And down to Modifier, Copy Modifier. And there you go. So I'm going to just move these back cushions down a little bit. So G, Z. I like that. That looks good. So the next thing I'm going to do is these arms. A couple things wrong with them. They're a little tall and they're too square to match the cushions. So I'm going to select both of these arms and I'm going to tab into edit mode. And I'm going to go into faces. And I select this face and this face. And I'm going to put G, Z, and move it down. I like that. That looks good. So now I want to bevel these arms. So I'm going to select these 2 faces again and the front 2 faces. And I can do a Command B and just move your mouse. If you roll your mouse wheel forward, you can add edges to this. Maybe one more. Okay, I like that. That looks good. So click that to accept it. And tab back into object mode. And you can see I got a problem going on here with this space. So I'll select this, tap into face mode. And I'm going to use my quick snap to Shift Q. I'm just going to drag this back there. So it kind of lines up with that. I like this. So this is looking good. I like this. Okay. So the last thing this sofa needs is some legs. So we're going to add an object. We're going to add a cube. And we are going to scale that down. And we are going to do a Shift Q to grab it and move it over here. So we'll zoom in on this. Do a Shift Q. I want to put it right there. So it's still a little big. So I'm just going to sort of play with this. So scale. And then Shift Q. I think that looks pretty good, actually. I like that. Okay. So now we're going to apply the scale to this. And we're going to tab into edit mode. Select the bottom face, and then we're going to scale it in. Oh, too much. You know, for more control, if you hold your Shift key down, things happen a little slower. And then I'm going to grab it and move it up this way, Z. I like that. That looks good. Tab back into object mode. We're going to Shift D to duplicate this and use my magical snapping add-on to move it there. We'll select both of these, Shift D, and we're going to swing around to the other side of this couch. Sofa, I guess it's called. Shift Q and right there. Okay, I like that. That looks good. So there's the sofa. Now, while we have the sofa made, why not make a matching chair? So I'm going to go over here. These are the legs. I don't know how they ended up here. So I'm going to drag these down into this collection. And I call this sofa. And now I'm going to add a new collection. So right click, new collection. Oh, wrong place. So I'm going to click down here, new collection, and I call this chair. Chair. Get rid of this. This happened by accident. Okay, so now we're going to just select all of this. We're going to do a Shift D. We'll move it over here. And then we're just going to drag all of this into the chair collection, just for organization. So let's move over here. Okay. So we don't need 4 of these, so select them all X to delete. And then this here, we are going to, so if this cushion is 28 on the y-axis, I'm going to make this 28 on the y-axis. And then the same for the backrest. I'll make that 28. And we're going to go ahead and apply the scale. If you don't apply the scale, sometimes weird things happen. So we are going to grab that, and then we'll swing around the back here and use my magical snapping tool to put that there. So then we'll just select this, the arm, and we'll do a Shift Q. Oh, selected that by accident. Do a Shift Q, snap that in there. And there we have a chair to match our sofa. I just realized we have to apply these modifiers. So I'm going to just go in and apply these. And get them all applied. If you don't apply these modifiers, sometimes weird things happen in other processes. And I'm pretty happy with the shape of the cushions. Once we shade smooth, they'll look great. So that looks great. Why don't we add an ottoman to this? So I'm going to select this, the cushion, and the 4 legs. Over here, we'll say organized. So we'll do a Shift D, and then I'm going to create yet another collection. So right click, new collection. I'm going to drag these into that collection. So this is going to be I can't spell ottoman, so I'm going to call it a stool. Okay, so we'll select all of these, and we'll go to 7, top view, and we're going to grab and move them along the x-axis, so out here. And I'm going to grab these legs and snap them in place. So there is that. And I'm going to go back into 7, and I'm just going to straighten this cushion up a bit. So GX right there. Now, that looks pretty good. I like it. So if we take all these cushions and we shade, actually, everything. Shade smooth. See, that looks pretty good. I think this one didn't shade. There, that looks good. All shaded. Okay, so there's the sofa. So now I'm just going to add some material to this. So I'm going to go into the shader. And we are going to, I'm going to move me over here. I'm kind of in the way. So we are going to, actually, you know what? I think I'm going to do the color in a second video. So this is the sofa and the chair. I hope this was useful. I think this is a simple solution to making living room furniture. Anyway, thanks for watching.